Hey there, YouTube. I am here today with our Ritual of the Day video. And before I get started with the actual ritual, I just want to say a few things about Wiccans and words. Wiccans and pagans generally believe that words have power. Words, they carry meaning to them. They can affect your magic, or sometimes they can create magic unintentionally. I'm mostly referencing words that are said while in states of extreme emotion, like when you're really elated and happy, or when you're really upset and angry. Those words usually have a lot of pull to them. And that's why, you don't really hear too many pagans wishing things upon people when they're angry. Like, I've never heard a pagan say, "Oh man, I really just don't like them, and I really just hope they get hurt today." And we all say things out of anger. Everyone's guilty of doing it at least once in their life. But generally, that's something that Wiccans and pagans try to avoid, because we recognize that it could happen, And from person to person, not necessarily having to do anything with magic, we don't like to say things like that, because what if that does happen? Don't say something like that and then something happen, because if you have a heart, then you'll probably feel awful about that later. Anyway, back to the subject. Like I was saying, avoiding saying statements in extreme emotions, but on the other half of the, I guess you could say, prism of this, is when you're extremely happy or elated in any way. You could be talking to a buddy and you just really love this person, and you say, "Man, I just hope you have an excellent day. I hope your day is fabulous." And I don't know, they win the lottery, or they just have a really excellent day. So we do believe that words hold a lot of pull to them. Now, I went on this big spiel about this, so I guess you would take what I have to say seriously now, because our ritual of the day is a short bedtime prayer. I know. How cheesy can we get? We're not children anymore. But really, guys, this is one of the most easiest rituals to do, because it's something you do right before you go to sleep. It's not something that has to be set at a certain time of the day. And if done right, your bedtime prayer can be very meaningful to you. So, a few tips for constructing your bedtime prayer. First, make the words meaningful. We all love our cutesy bedtime prayers, and they're great, and they do the trick when needed, but make it effective. Make your words mean something. If your bedtime prayer, if your magic is centered around, having a higher score performance at your job, you don't want something cutesy that's going to beat around the bush, because you want this to be effective. Now, usually with myself, my daily rituals are just a short and simple way for me to pay homage to my deities. And with that, you have a bit more creative leniency. You're not really working on a spell. You're just giving you're giving your gods a shout out. But it can be kind of fun to try to play in rhymes with your gods' associations, or to try to make something rhyme with their name. Which brings me to my next point, rhyming. We all have to fill in the cheesiest stereotypes of witches rhyming at some point. And I am a firm believer in rhyming, just because of the age-old, tale that rhyming gives your conscious mind something to do while your subconscious is doing magic. Now, believe what you want, your spell doesn't have to rhyme to make it a good one. But who doesn't want an adorable rhyming, children's, or adult, I guess you could say, bedtime prayer? Um, but if it's going to rhyme, make it matter. You want this to be short and sweet, to the point, and effective. And keep in mind, you do want this to be in some form of a deeper end iambic pentameter. You don't want it to be too simple that you grow bored with it, because that would defeat the purpose. Then you're just reciting lines at the end of the night instead of truly paying homage. So I've written many bedtime prayers, but today I'm going to share with you one that's very important to me, very dear to my heart. As some of you may know, my mother passed at a very early age, and I knew little to nothing about her, other than what relatives would argue was the truth. But she left us this suitcase full of handwritten letters that she wrote to several people in our family. And in these letters, I did find a very small slip of paper, and it's a child's bedtime prayer. And in the prayer, it references goddess worship. And that's actually one of the things that got me into my own spiritual path, was my mother's dabbling in goddess worship. So I'm actually going to share with you the poem that I found in her suitcase. Now, she may or may not have written this piece. I really don't know. If she didn't, credit to the author out there. But all it's titled is Child's Bedtime Prayer. Now I lay me down to rest. Goddess, guard my little nest. Like the wee bird in the tree, lovely goddess, care for me. Above, below, and round about, keep all evil spirits out. Bless those I love, and bless me too. Dearest goddess, I love you. Now, if that isn't the most pagan children's prayer you've ever heard, then you've never heard one. In this, she references nature, being a bird in the nest, and in a tree. She gives homage to her deity as being lovely. She references the as above, so below rule with above, below, and round about. She makes blatant references to a protection spell, keep all evil spirits out. Bless those I love and bless me too, meaning to protect those that she loves and to protect herself. Dearest goddess, I love you, also paying homage to her deity. So it was very cute, and it was very fun to read, but everything in it had meaning. So personally, I try to make mine on very similar lines to that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the videos. If you have any questions, feel free to message me through my YouTube or the email address that I have provided on my YouTube. Alright, you guys have an excellent night, and blessed be.